So what would you do if you had a higher than average salary, very low debts, and almost zero outgoing spends? That's what today's Budget Bestie is asking. Hi guys, gals, non-binary, welcome to Budget with Ira. On this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt, and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun here, Bestie. We really do. In today's video, we are doing episode 5. In today's video, we're doing another episode of Budget Bestie. On Budget Bestie, we have an anonymously submitted budget, and what they ask is that I take a look at their budget and see what I would do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor, so any decisions that you make off of this video is completely at your own risk. However, you may identify with some of the situations that are happening in today's video, so if you do, please pay attention. You might enjoy it. So in today's video, we do not have a great deal of information, but we do understand that this person is quite young and they are earning quite a bit of money. They found themselves into quite a bit of debt, and it's a bit of debt, but they don't have like hardly any outgoings at all, but they're managing to fritter away their income every single month. What they say is that they want to be a homeowner, to be free from debt, and to be able to save up for monthly or bigger goals this year, like holiday and Christmas, without having to depend on credit cards closer to the time. So what that sounds like is they're earning a lot of money and they're spending a lot of money, and then they're not thinking about the future because they're young and young people don't do that. And when it comes time for Christmas or birthdays, they've not saved for it. So they just chuck it on the credit card and make the credit card debt even more. It's a very quick thing to fix, but it's a behavior that they're starting to form for a lifetime. But by fixing the behaviors and correcting it while you're younger, it can really help you longer in the future. Also, young people make really bad decisions, and in today's video, this young person has the most expensive car. Like, why? So we're going to be looking at stuff like that. So without further ado, and without giving up too much away, let's go ahead, Bestie, and let's get budgeting. Okay, so we've got this budget here, and this is for someone who earns quite a fair bit of money but doesn't really know what to do with their money and kind of doesn't spend it wisely. So let's start with their old budget. They have one source of income, which is their normal job, which pays them really well, which is $2,400. So let's go ahead and let's look at their bills, because there aren't very many because they live at home. So first of all, they have is a gym, which they say is their absolute lifeline, and that's £200. And if that's their lifeline, that is their lifeline. You could get it cheaper, but I wouldn't mess with that if it is that important to you, yeah? Then we've got car insurance, which is £46 for, which shows me they are either female or been driving for quite a long time. And then their car tax is pretty okay at $14.43. So it's either a very new, mostly electric car, or a very old car, but we'll soon find out. And then their phone bill, they pay themselves, which is $23, which I think is a reasonable amount. And then they have Spotify, which is a tenner. And then they have vape, which they pay £60 a month for. And I've already told you about vape, that is excessive, so we will be looking at that. And then they have pet sort of things, so like probably their food and stuff like that. So that's £40. That is all their bills are, and that comes up to $393.47, which leaves them with $2,006.53. So let's have a look at their envelopes down here. So first of all, they have food, which looks like they give themselves £30 a week, which is $120. And I assume that's like lunches and stuff like that. Like I assume they're getting their dinner at home and stuff like that. So that might be a bit much money, but you know, it is what it is. I give myself £30 a week as well. So petrol is the same as $120. Spending is the same, it's 120, and that's that. So that comes up to 390, which leaves them with 1616.53. There are no sinking funds, so we'll just leave that, but they do have a bit of debt. So they have credit card, which is £88 a month. And we'll look at the debt plan later on. And then we have their car, which shows me they have a very new car. Their monthly minimums on that car is £366, which is that is a financial burden. So £454, which does actually leave them with £1,162.53, right? So that's how much they've got left over, and they don't know where that money goes, which is a shame. That just shows me that they are spending more than they're spending money. They're going out a lot. They're just being young and doing stuff with that money. So they're I mean, they're obviously, you know, as a spend comes up, they're just doing it and they're not really thinking about their future, which is really, really normal for a young person to do. So let's take this back and let's dial back. So Jim, I think, you know, while, you know, there is an argument that you can run on the street, that's free. You can do all of that stuff on the free. If someone has gone out of their way to say that this is my lifeline, this is really important to me, I would just keep it as it is. Car insurance is what it is. That seems like a pretty okay number for a young person. Obviously shop around every year. Car tax is what it is. That is just mandated by the government. Like, it is what it is with that. Phone, that is a good price. And Spotify, you're young, what is a tenner, right? Vape, you shouldn't be spending £60. You should quit while you're young enough to do it, but let's go 20 quid. You should be looking at mixed juice and things like that. No, it seems like they're using the disposable ones for that much money. I would be looking to spend £20 a month because I can make it work on £20, and I used to be an incredibly heavy smoker. And the pet costs are the pet costs. As long as you're not buying silly things, all I would really do is take 40 quid away from that, which would make it 353.47, and then what you'd be left with is 2,046.53. So moving over, I would actually spend a little bit more money. So food is fine, petrol is fine, spending is fine. It really depends on what that food is. If that food is for like lunch while you're at work and stuff like that, it really should be coming out of your spending money. But if it is like for you to eat and have dinner, keep it as it is. So I'm assuming it's to eat and have dinner, so I'm going to keep it as it is, but then I'd introduce social, because if you can't explain £1,200 each month, I would do that. I would do £120 as well, so 30 quid a week going out to the pub or doing whatever, seeing your mates. That makes £510 and leaves you with £1,536.53. So I would now introduce some sinking funds so that your money has somewhere to go. So I'd introduce home, and I would budget £420 a month to that, because 420 times 12 is £5,040. So you'd have 5k at the end of a year each time, which is something that you said that you wanted to do. And then holiday, because that's important to you as well. I would then do £60, because 60 times 12 is £720. It's enough to have a lovely holiday, like more than enough. And then Christmas. So depending on how big your family is, £20 should be enough. So all of that comes up to £500, which is really reasonable considering how small these are. I mean, like, there isn't a beauty, like, I'd play around with stuff that you want, but like, you've only mentioned home, holiday and Christmas, but potentially you might want a beauty one, you might want hair, you never know, but I'd probably not spend more than £500. So I'd start to dilute the home one before I do anything else. So that would leave you with £1,036.53. Now, what we need to establish is, are you happy paying that car just as it is, or do you want it paid off quicker? Yeah. Obviously you want to get rid of that credit card, but what do you want to do with that? Like, how do you want it to be? So your minimums are 454, but let's assume that you want this debt gone. You want your car paid off and you want your credit card paid off. Then what I would potentially do is I would have an overpayment. So an overpayment of 546 a month. Yeah, so 546 a month would mean that your payment to debt each month would be £1,000, which would leave you with 36.53. Now, if you are satisfied just paying that £366, now what I would really do in real life is I would downgrade my car, because that's an excessive amount of money to pay on a car. Like, it's just excessive. You don't need a car that fancy, that nice. But if it's important to you and you're happy to pay £366, like, go for it. But just know that things are going to be harder and take longer because of that choice. Yeah, so I would potentially downgrade your car as my very first option and pay off a smaller amount. But if you are adamant on keeping that car and paying down your debt, then this is the debt repayment plan that I would do. So first of all, we've got your credit card, which will have a higher interest rate. So your minimum amount on that is £88, and what you owe is £3,969. And then you have your car, and your minimum on that is £366, and you owe £8,300 on that. So your minimum is £454, and what you owe is £12,269. Yeah, I would make your snowball 546 to make it up to £1,000. So your minimum payment of £88 plus the 546 means that your debt repayment amount is £634, which means that you'll have that gone at that rate in 6.5 months. Yeah, so once that's gone, your debt snowball now becomes £1,000. So it's 634 plus 366. So your minimum will be £1,000, and then you then have that paid off in 6 months. So in 1 year, you'd be debt free because of your disposable income. Yeah, so you can do that. So if that's what fits right with you, that's potentially what your sort of debt freedom might look like. And then you'd have like a spare grand every month to do whatever you want with it. But the approach that I would actually do is to downgrade your car. Yeah, so I would downgrade my car to something that costs me something like £200 a month, something like that. And I wouldn't actually consider the car a debt at that point, because it's not a financial drain or burden on me. I'd still commit to that plan of paying off my debt in 6.5 months, so getting that credit card cleared. But once I've done that, I've then got £800 spare each month, and I can really bulk out those sinking funds. So I can think about really aggressively saving up for a home, because that's obviously something that's important to you. But we could also do more for Christmas, we could do more for holidays, we could add beauty, we could add saving up for an actual car to just buy it outright in cash. There's so much you can do. You can even start thinking about paying up your car tax a year in advance, and so then you don't have as many bills, and really starting to think about the things that are important to you, because right now that car really seems to be shackling you. So that's potentially what I would be doing and looking at. But also remember and bear in mind that the second you've got your own home, these bills are going to become massive. So potentially thinking about maybe giving your parents or whoever you live with a bit of money each month, just to get into the habit of paying for bills. And they don't have to keep that or spend that. They could keep it safe for you and give it back to you when it's time to move out. But I'd potentially be starting to think about giving some of your money to the people that take care of you, because it's going to get you into the habit of paying for council tax, TV license, internet, all of those things that you're not currently paying for. Because, while your salary seems really, really good now, second you start paying for all of that, it's not going to. It's going to feel pretty tough. But yeah, that's what I would do. This is obviously not financial advice. You've got so many options. You're so young. There's so many things you can do. But best of luck, bestie, and I'd love to hear how you get on. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. Please let me know down in the comments if there is anything that you would do any differently. It's a really difficult one because it depends what you consider debt. Because for me, a car isn't really debt. It's like a bill because it will eventually be paid off and done. But yeah, it's a tricky one. So I potentially probably wouldn't pay off the car, and I'd really start thinking about my future. But it's really difficult. It's all sorts of different things for different people. So I'd love to know what you would do. Thank you so much to everybody who watched this video. The eyeballs on this video mean the world to me. But an extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make all of this possible. Thank you so much. I cannot express how much your support means to me. If you would like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That is it for today. I would like to see you on the next Budget Bestie, and next week where we'll have a brand new scenario and yeah, see what we can do, see if we can budget our way out of that situation. Until then, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.